Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Veve, OMI, the cat update video. I guess we'll talk a little bit about Illuvium as well. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. I love you all. Everyone say hello, Dachi. Hello, Dachi. Commenting, liking, and subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that super thanks button down below. Super chats as well. We have a lot to go over today. Cheers, mate. Breaking out the Not Your Father's Root Beer. This is not an advertisement, but oh my god, I literally was at the Stop and Shop yesterday. I'm getting some cold cuts, I'm getting some bread, I'm getting some butter, and to my left, I see the Not Your Father's Root Beer, and I had to get it. So anyway, that's what I'm drinking tonight. But again, not an advertisement. Um, we have when I do an advertisement, you'll know it. Let's see what we got here. We'll start with the cat because despite how well OMI was doing today and yesterday, I'm so thankful. I did get another million OMI the other day, so I'm now up to 177 million OMI. Still far away from my goal of two. So I mean, guess after 69 million, the goal should probably be 420, but I'll never get there unless there's like a crazy windfall. But anyway, I think OMI's up like 20% over the last couple days. Maybe now thinking because it was down to like 00054, but DACAT, DACAT, was up like 200% yesterday. It's up 56%, 56.69, almost 57% today, up to a 1.58 million dollar market cap. I unfortunately did not buy, this bottom as soon as the migration happened. I still never sold. Full not full frontal, full transparency. I put in about 7,500 when it was at a $7.5 million market cap. And yes, it went down to the several hundreds of thousands, lost quite a bit. But again, I never actually locked those in. Just happy that it seems to be doing well now. And again, the comic that's coming out. And again, there's going to be several months consistent of that of the content, which is everyone will really like. Where does it go from here? Could this be the top? Sure. Could this be like the calm before the storm? Absolutely. It could go haywire. But again, I'm just reporting on that because when something goes up 56% in one day, you've got a good, it's something noteworthy. OMI, however, let's see, we're about up 5.4% on the day. It depends on, so go like, obviously we've had a crazy, you can't see that, it's too late. I don't know why my phone does that, like every single day. Obviously we had kind of a crazy uptick. Now, why has this happened? And in the title said what whales are doing, why they're buying hundreds of millions. I had a whale friend of mine buy about 120 million OMI he did like 50 million OMI the other, like last week, as we were on our way down, like at 00060. And then when it went down to like 0005, I think 56 is when he got it at. He's like, Randy, like, I liked it at 00063, wherever he got it, 60. I was like, but I love it at 00056. So he went and got like 70 million, which is super surprising because he went and got that and it didn't really move the price that much. It didn't actually move a ton until today. Okay, well, Chavez, why did that happen? How does something, someone make such a big buy order, 2 days ago and it not really move, or yesterday would not really move, and why did it move today? Well, in general, when you have volume, like let's say we had like $1 million in volume today, that's going to be different. Like you potentially you could have just $1 million to buy orders, not to sell, but you have a decent amount of people that were still selling as of even as of this morning because there was no news coming out. There's like, hey, team's still not talking about OMI. Only one talking about OMI is Randy Chavez. I don't know how much I trust him. So then when you take the Ecomi official account, which has been a lot more active than it has in recent months, it's been fairly active this month since Foster took over, and they go and they say, hey, here's that OMI utility update. And, they're not afraid to say the word OMI. They're not afraid to talk about it. And it's like, okay, at least they're talking about it. Let's see what it says. And we'll go over what it says right now. It's, in my opinion, very bullish. I will go over some of the concerns that I have and other people have brought to me that I haven't thought of. And even one of my concerns, people just don't seem to care about. But, we'll see. Let's go over it all. I assume this was written by Foster, or maybe co-written by other people saying, hey, Ecomi fam, we wanted to take this opportunity to give you a brief update on OMI. OMI and its utility is one of the key business priorities for 2024. And again, this is from Ecomi. This is not necessarily from Veve, but I don't know if this is alpha or not. Maybe it is. We'll see. We'll see if I get in trouble for it. We likely could have done something with MCP last year. Like we likely could have had MCP specific drops at some point last year. Well, Chavez, if they had it, why didn't they roll it out? When they have the idea of merging like Fusion Ha, MCP, and OUP into loyalty, then you don't want to have one thing roll out and not the other roll out. So in my opinion, and again, I don't know, but we likely could have had MCP specific drops for several months. And the reason why they most likely didn't go and do that is because, hey, you know what? You don't want to have one without the other. It's like, I forget who, I think it's Frank Sinatra, that song from Married with Children, love and marriage. You can't have one without the other. So if you go and you say, okay, if we're really going to morph this, if we're really going to merge both of these two incredible things into one program, they form a symbiont circle, like in Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan are talking to the Gun-Guns and the head Gun-Gun about Jar Jar and about the war on the Naboo, and the head Gun-Gun, I forget his name, the guy that goes, that guy. He says like, you guys up there, we sit down here, not our problem. And then Obi-Wan says, you and the Naboo form a symbiont circle. What happens to one affects the other. You must understand this. So again, when you have this symbiont circle that they're doing, one, it's going to be beautiful. It's very, very elegant. And two, it does make, for a better bang for your buck. Why does Venusaur's Solar Beam, why is it such a powerful move with 120 attack? Because it takes 2 turns. It takes 1 turn to charge up and 1 turn to explode all that energy. So this is a 1-2 combo. It's thrown at the same time. And we might as well just get into it. I don't want to sit here and just do freaking similes and metaphors all day. But in no particular order, and this is by no means a definitive list. So that really helps me, because when you have something that they say, hey, this is what we're talking about right now in this article, but it's not limited to this. Like there are other things that are not mentioned in this article that we're still working on the back end. Now, we don't know if it's something that, let's say slabs or whatever's coming out tomorrow. You have David Yu going on Comics and Crypto's show. They're doing a video that, I don't know if it's a live stream or if it's a video. It's probably going to be a video, because they're going to happen at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. And it's not, that's going to be like 3 in the morning for David. And because David's in France right now, it wouldn't be that late. It'd be like 2 in the morning. At Comics and Cryptos, obviously, that'd be 5 p.m. for him, because he's in Pacific Standard Time. I don't know if he's actually in France. He might be. The Comics and Cryptos, they might be out there. But you have that tomorrow. Like, again, Veve every now and then surprises you. Nobody. We heard whispers of like a big partnership, and then suddenly Funko comes out of nowhere. There's a conversation that David had. I don't know if I asked him or somebody else asked him. This conversation just kind of molded into one after a while. And I believe David had said at the time, like, well, you don't want to have like every toy group, like Lego and Funko or this and that. You do want to have just one. And then somewhere along the line, that thinking changed. That thinking changed into, well, apparently we have Funko, and I don't like if they have the opportunity to get Lego, they're probably going to do it if they have that opportunity. I don't know if they will or not. But nobody knew about Funko. Like there was no spec. Like there was something like, hey, could we get Lego? Could we get Funko? I remember putting up a status like 2 years ago, saying like, hey, what would you rather have on the app? Would you rather have Funko or Lego? I forget what the results were. I think Lego actually won that. But I think that's like one of the only times people were really trying to see something with Funko, and like, how would you do it? And obviously they did it in a really cool way, and they kept it under wraps. Literally nobody knew about that. And same thing with these comics. Like I'm friends with Comics and Crypto. Had no idea this was happening. So this is a very exciting thing that they're doing. Anyway, the reason why I bring that up is just because you have Veve can surprise you out of nowhere, and Ecomi could do the same thing. So just because what's mentioned in this article is being talked about right now doesn't mean that other things aren't happening behind the scenes. I know for a fact some things are, and some other things, might not know, but we'll see. Improving accessibility of the token is priority. Okay, well, what else did I say? The goal is to have quick and easy ways, plural, for users to acquire and utilize the OMI token. So let's break this down point by point. Improving accessibility of the token is a priority. So accessibility could mean one of many different things. You could have it as, I mean, it's already fairly easy to trade OMI on the app, from one way or the other, which is fine. You could do it on either the phone app or the web app. This could also mean exchanges. Like, how else do you get OMI? Well, you have it with exchanges. That's the easiest way to acquire OMI, but that's really only on layer one. That's really only to buy and sell. I would like, for me, if I didn't have any OMI on the Veve app, what would I rather do? Would I pay? Well, let's say it's an app like 60. Let's say $640. Let's say $6,400 for 10 million OMI. On layer one. Let's say $6,400. I would have no problem paying like an extra $200 to instead of paying $6,400, I have to pay $6,600 for 10 million OMI, and I just get it in layer two. I get it right on the app. I wouldn't have to go and bridge it, which is annoying. There's gas fees. I would much rather go and pay that extra money. Would I pay an extra 10%? Probably not. But would I pay an extra like 3%? Yeah, absolutely. I'd pay an extra 3%. That'd be $180. So I'd pay 3 or 3 point whatever percent to go on and pay that for OMI. So what they're most likely talking about is really not exchanges, because we do know that's coming. Do we have any idea of when? My guess would be Q2. My guess would be around or after the halving, which is going to happen in late April. So I'd say by May we probably have it. But again, that's just my opinion. It's my guess here. But the exchanges we know are going to come. This is most likely going to be being able to buy layer 2 OMI over on the web app. The layer 2 OMI on the web app, I would very much like to see some fees there. Chavez, why would you want to pay more? Why would you want, like, well, see, here's the thing. They don't mention OMI to gem in this entire article at all, which at first I was like, oh my God, please tell me they're not going to do away with that. And most likely they're not, but okay, Chavez, why do you have fees? Do you need to line, David and Dan's pockets even more? Why would you need more fees? Well, the idea behind crypto pay-in, which we'll get to that and why that's not happening, at least not in the way we thought. The behind that crypto pay-in, okay, put in $10,000 of Ethereum, Bitcoin, whatever, and you get gems. Okay, well, if you had a 3% fee on that, okay, well, an extra $300 would go, and it would say, well, guess what? That $300, what happens? That would go to buy gems, and those gems would go into a gem liquidity pool. Now, originally, the purpose of that gem liquidity pool, as soon as it opened, would say, okay, Ecomi would go and they would burn 5.5 billion OMI from the business development wallet, and they'll likely burn more in the future. They don't really use that wallet. They may be so flush with cash, they don't really need it. But Ecomi Veve just went and donated 1 million gems into that gem liquidity pool. So this is why I'm still fairly sure it's coming, and they just haven't talked about it yet. Maybe OMI to gem will come after. So if you have OMI to NFT or OMI, I forget what I was talking about. Improving accessibility, if you're able to buy OMI on this app, then you can go and say, okay, if there's fees to it, those fees go to buying gems, and those gems go into the OMI liquidity, the gem liquidity pool. Well, what is that? In case if you're new here, you haven't noticed what that is, and if you haven't heard me talk about it before, it's us taking gems or taking our OMI, whether we have it on the app, wherever, and we go and we buy those gems, and that OMI that we put in goes straight into the burn wallet, which is fantastic. And that's going to constantly be refilled. Originally, it was by crypto to pay in, but now most likely it's going to be buying OMI. So if you go and buy OMI on the app, there's likely going to be a fee. That fee will go to fill that gem liquidity pool, or OMI to NFT, what we'll get to in a little bit. That'll also most likely have a fee, most likely for the buyer. I don't see them doing that for the seller, but again, we'll do that. So have quick and easy ways for users to acquire and utilize OMI token. So ways, again, meaning plural. How else are we going to utilize the OMI token? So obviously OMI to NFT, OMI to gem, and then you're probably going to say OMI to MCP points or OMI to bronze tickets, whichever way that goes. Get more bronze tickets to buy more MCP points. I think that would be better, or whatever way, use OMI to get more MCP points to buy bronze tickets. Whatever, and it could be vice versa. You might be able to have both of those. So that's the first part. Second part, we are progressing plans around OMI to NFT. Hallelujah. And it says plans. So I'm very excited. This is a high priority focus for us, and we are currently working through details of a confidential partnership. Okay, so before I move forward, this confidential partnership, what does this mean? Well, it's not going to be Alibaba because that's not confidential. That is well known. Well, it's not really well known yet, unless you watch me or I feel like no other YouTuber really talks about that. Well, no, Crypto Rain and Dr. Stuff had mentioned that on their stream with David Yu, talk about Alibaba. But if what I think is going to happen happens, which again, this is just my opinion, it could be, whatever. But if you do business in China, like China for many years didn't have like a NFT platform that you could legally use. They didn't have that until about 1 year ago. It was about like a year and like a week or two ago. It was since early 2023, like January 2023, they had that. How do you go and do that? Because doesn't China ban like Bitcoin like every 6 months? They used to. Well, how do you do business in China? You need to pay you need to pay Xi Jinping. How much do you have to pay? It depends. Let's say Disney. Disney is no stranger to that. Who owns Disney Shanghai? Well, Disney owns their 41%. Who owns the other 59%? China. In order to do business in China, you gotta pay the man. All right, how are we doing this? How are we going and paying this man? Okay, well, Alibaba has already paid that man 100 billion times over. We were actually pretty sure Jack Ma was not around for a while. He was away from the limelight for several weeks, and people got conspiracy theorists' mind. But he is alive. He's all well and good. So most likely, the Alibaba partnership, in my opinion, if I were running the show, would be to use their Alipay to onboard crypto users. But again, because here, and I'm guessing this is Foster, says it's a confidential partnership, it's likely not them. So what do they mean when they're saying high priority for us, details of confidential partnership for OMI to NFT? Well, it could be one of two things. Well, really only one thing. And what are they talking about? Okay, so OMI to NFT could be done in one of two ways. You could go and you could say, you could have somebody say, I have this partner statue and I'm going to sell it for $2 million worth of OMI. Or I'm sorry, $2,000 worth of OMI. And then you have the person, the buyer, say like, okay, I'm going to go and give you my $2,000 worth of OMI. And then Vivi says, wait a minute. You have the seller already has 8.5% in fees that they have to go and incur. 2.5% for Vivi and 6% for Disney, and that's not including if they want to cash out gems, which is another 10% right now. That number will come down as time goes on. How do they go and uh, add more fees to the seller? They're likely not going to. They would likely go and add more fees to the buyer. They're like, hey, you want to have $2,000 worth of OMI to purchase this? Okay, well, you're actually going to need 2,000. If we add 3%, $2,060 in order to go and do that. Okay, well, what does that $60 go to? That will just go to the gem liquidity pool, most likely. But that's one way they could do it, where it's just very simple. There is nothing really in the background. You just have legit OMI to NFT. But why would you need a third party for that? Why would you need a partner? Okay, so that third party is most likely going to be, I think Wise used to be one. I don't know, like whatever third party partner it is, it doesn't really matter. What they're likely going to do is I say, okay, well, I, Randy Chavez, have $2,000 worth of OMI, and I want to buy this wall for $2,000. Okay, I pay 2,060 something dollars, 2,080, however much the fees are. Let's say it's 5% fees to the buyer. It doesn't really matter because as OMI goes from 0006 to 002 and beyond, people are not going to care. They're really not. And you'll say like, okay, I will go and take this $2,000, $2,100 to buy this $2,000 wall. And I won't really see anything that goes on in the background. But in the background, you'll likely have a third party convert the OMI over to gems. They'll take a piece for their service. Vivi takes a piece for their gem liquidity pool, and then the seller pays the 8.5% fees to Vivi and Disney. So that third party is most likely going to be someone that does in the background of which again, I would say it'd be Alibaba, but they're not confidential. I mean, Vivi hasn't officially announced them, but that's most likely what they're going to do. They're just going to go take that that OMI, they're going to convert it to gems or convert it to whatever that buys it. Okay, well, Chavez, what if I want to sell something for OMI? You might have to have an extra step in the background, And that extra step in the background would be, okay, I take my OMI, I convert it to gems. The seller gets. I don't know how that would work if the seller wants to sell an OMI, because right now it's only OMI to NFT. So I don't know if it would be NFT to OMI because of the way they phrase that. So let's move on. That's going to be up in the air for now. More details will be revealed at a later date. I don't know if that's going to be Q2 or later in Q1, but we will get another one of these articles in Q1. This does mean that the previous forms of crypto pay-in and payout tested by Veve is no longer on the roadmap. Okay, so there's a couple things I have to go over with here. The previous forms of crypto pay-in and payout, we did have that was tested. I need a drink. Oh, not your father's root beer, so good. Okay. The issue that we had with that last time was that you could not put more than $10,000 in at one time. That was very annoying for a lot of whales because of like, I want to go and spend, $30,000, $50,000. So I don't think it was even at one time. I think it was like a week or a day. It might have been per day. Anyway, now I'm gonna be a little bit silver lining here, maybe just a little moon boy. But if you have something that is, it says previous forms of crypto pay and payout tested by Veve is no longer on the roadmap. That doesn't mean that there aren't going to be other forms of crypto pay and payout that maybe weren't tested by Veve. Maybe those could still come. I don't know. It's possibility maybe 18%. But I said we are excited about announcing more when we can. Watch this space. So the good and bad for Veve. The bad part for that is that, well, people are not going to be able to use Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC, whatever, to buy gems, and we're not going to get those fees. Those fees are not going to go to that gem liquidity pool. So that's bad. I don't like that. But again, silver lining and try to be on the good side. This means that everybody has to go and buy OMI. If you have a bunch of Bitcoin, you'll still be able to have OMI to NFT, OMI to whatever, OMI to gem, but you'll have to use your Bitcoin to buy OMI to go and do that, or your USDC or whatever to do that. So, if you're going to go and use your Bitcoin anyway, or your Ethereum or USDC, you might as well just take that extra step to buy OMI, which you may or may not be able to do on the app. I don't know. And I don't know if we'll be able to do that just with credit card. Oh God, if you could buy OMI with just a credit card on layer 2, I don't have enough OMI. But again, that might be a separate form of crypto pay-in where it's not just like crypto to gem. But if you can go do that and buy OMI, that means more buy volume. Oh my God. Excuse me. That means more buy volume for OMI, and that shows everyone in the world that Veve, billion-dollar business, soon to be multi-billion-dollar business in the next year or so, their OMI is integral to them, and they don't really care about any other crypto, and they care about OMI, and it shows them how important OMI is to that ecosystem. And that's just on Veve, not to say Veveverse. And that's the other thing I want to go over here that's not in the article is Veveverse. So because the article didn't mention Veveverse, phase 1, we have one of two ways of thinking about that. Either, okay, Veveverse is likely not going to come in the next couple of months, maybe even the next couple of 2 quarters, and we might not get Veveverse phase 1 until the second half of the year. And that could be not good, because what the fudge, guys. However, because of what they said at the beginning, saying what we're talking about in this particular article, it's not limited to this. There's still other things that's working in the background. Well, why is Veveverse, super important, Chavez? Talking about Ecomi here, talking about the Veve app. And yes, Veveverse is separate, but in phase 1, you are supposed to have OMI 2 accessory. So either we're not getting that for like 6 months, 8 months or whatever, or it is coming, but it's just going to be in a separate article from Veve or from Cavernous, from whoever's in charge of writing Veveverse articles. So that's going to be a whole separate issue. I don't know which way to kind of feel about that, though. Just kind of giving you all the mind spaces here. Then they go on to say, in case you missed it, OMI Rewards Season 1 started in January 2024. OMI Season 0 started in September. October? I forget. I think it was September. So Season 1 started in January, where bronze MCP tickets can be earned for those who deposited OMI tokens on the web app. We all know this. OMI Rewards Season 2 starts on 1 April 2024, and as such, rewards, perks, and bonuses will be progressively released. Stay tuned. Okay, so this is a nice little consistency here. It's a nice pattern that I'm seeing. where we had OMI Season 1 starting January 1st, and in the next quarter, on April 1st, you have OMI Rewards Season 2. Now, again, just sometimes I see patterns that aren't there, but I do see a pattern. Well, that means, Q1, we were, July 1st, we're going to have OMI Rewards Season 3. And then October 1st, we'll have OMI Rewards Season 4. People get super pumped about the gold and silver Vivi logo. Well, why? Because gold and silver Vivi logo, they announce new utility every year. You still have the same utility that you've had beforehand, but you get new stuff each year, which is great. If we're going to get 4 new sets of OMI utility this year, super heckin' bullish. We're likely going to get more, but I mean, like actual OMI rewards for that is going to be heckin' insane. We want to take this opportunity to thank you, OMI holders, while we work on utility, blah, blah, blah. Okay, our approach will be to communicate the details to the community only when details and plans are confirmed. This is in order to avoid over speculation and disappointment with delays, as doing so benefits no one. So I don't think we would have gotten this particular update if we would have had to wait 5 more months for it. I do think that OMI to NFT, I would love to see it in Q2. I mean, I'd love to see it in Q1, but again, I don't think they would come out with this now saying progressing plans for OMI to NFT if we had to wait until July to get it. I think they go and they talk about OMI to NFT and improving accessibility of the token. I think that does happen in the next couple months. Now, are we going to get it like next month in February? Probably not. March, maybe. April. Yeah, they would likely like to have some form of OMI utility before the halving, because at or around the halving, like you don't want to have the halving come out and then 6 months later finally launch your first exchange. I guarantee you would get an exchange in May, just because you want to have it at or around the halving, or a little bit after. But again, that's just my opinion. And that's that article there. I've already talked about 27 minutes, guys. I have no. All right, we'll try to do some more news here. Just let me go and take a look at what I wrote, just so I can make sure I go over all the stuff in the title. Again, I said whales. That one whale friend of mine that purchased 120 million OMI over the last 10 days. He's not the only one. There's 2 people I know that are very, very close. They have like 300 million OMI each. There's other whales on top of that are still accumulating. Some are actually accumulating ducat. But this is so the mindset behind that, a lot of people is like, hey, listen, when do you want to spend money? When do you want to invest money? When you're likely going to have a good ROI. And let's say like Crypto Rain, like he makes, like, he doesn't gamble because he doesn't like to have fun. No, I'm joking, I love him. But he says, like, let's just not, you're likely not going to be able to win. Like the best chances of winning you have in a casino are at a blackjack table if you know how to count cards. It's like, okay, yes, fair. Well, I mean, sometimes if you go and play in a poker room and you're filled with people that don't know how to play poker, yeah, you make a lot. I've done fairly well like that myself. It says, but if you look at the crypto like a casino, you don't just have 30, 40% odds, depending on the game that you're playing. You could have like 80% odds. I was like, oh, that's a good way of looking at it. So a lot of these whales share that same thing. Like, listen, the thesis of the company hasn't changed. They're still making millions per month. They still have a very strong community, and they're growing in this bear market while things are going down. Like, you had one of the co-founders of Illuvium step down. You had, I don't know if it was Cryptoids or someone else. There was another place that they were downsizing. That might not have been Cryptoids. It might have been someone else. Although I haven't really seen a drop from them in a while. Reeker's out. Who else came out yet? Quid. I don't even know if half of those are even NFTs. But they're clearly not paying their bills. They're not paying their people. They raised $50 million and they ran through it in 2 years and they're done. Animal, like, and again, what some Animoca brands, and let's say I was swindled. Let's say it's like, okay, this person's selling me on the IP they have, because they did have Marvel before they mouthed off about Vivi, and then Marvel left them, and they still have they have some good IP. So if they say, well, listen, we have Marvel, we have these people all on our platform. This is a new revolution. This is Web 3.0. This is like being early to Facebook in like 2005. Investing, and you could be a salesman, and you could go, and if I really wanted to, I can go to a bunch of VCs and raise a fudge ton of money for Randy coin. I would never do that because it's completely wrong, completely immoral. I was on Jeremiah Aoyang the other day. I was like, listen, I've seen this happen with VCs before, and and they, it just if you're Animoca Brands and you put in, let's say, 30 out of those $50 million, and suddenly Quid's not performing because there's no volume, there's no one there. Yes, Animoca Brands has millions of dollars. Like, are they Tesla with like 28 billion in the war chest? No, but do they have like $100 million liquid cash? Probably. And maybe they have $500 million. Why would you throw good money over bad? If Quid was performing, Quid was doing whatever, yeah, sure. If they're making money and they're net positive on the year, by all means. But if they're not, which they're clearly not paying their bills, you're not going to go and just bail them out. Especially when there's no money coming in. When I was in high risk lending and I had like, okay, this trucking company, you don't give money to trucking companies if they only have one truck. Why? Because if that truck breaks down, they're hecked. Then they're not making money. They need money to fix that truck, and then God forbid that truck breaks again. You only really want to fund trucking companies if they have like 3 trucks or more, because if one breaks down, they at least still have 2 more trucks running, and they still have money coming in. But God forbid they lose a line, they lose whatever. Trucking companies are generally very risky if they only have 1 or 2 trucks. But with Veve, the fact that they've never had a lapse in revenue, they're always constantly making money. And on top of that, that again, even if they, let's say they were worth $3 billion at the height of the last bull market, and now they're only worth $1 billion. Say they lost $2 billion in value. Okay, you could still sell 10% and make $100 million. Sell to Tesla, sell to Apple, sell to Amazon. And I mean, I know people saying like, oh, what about Disney? Guys, Disney's lost like tens of billions of dollars over the last year or two. I don't think they'd be in a position to do that. I think it would behoove them to if you would let them. I just don't. I feel like that's not a good. I mean, it would be really good for Disney. I just feel like they're kind of tightening. But anyway, that type of thing would be invaluable. They could raise $100 million whenever they want, and they would still have like 30% left to sell if they really wanted or needed to. Anyway, I feel like I've been talking about this way too much. I know y'all have comments, but anyway, this is what whales are thinking. They have all of these things going for them. What are the odds that Veve and Ecomi fail? Like the odds of them failing were in 2018, 2019, like 2020. That was the odds of them failing when they had no app, when Reese didn't get paid for like 8 months, where the FUD was at an all-time high. I bet these guys, had bought their OMI token because they promised us the world. It's been like 2 years. We don't even have an app. And then in December 2020, they had the app. They had Batman on there, multiple Batman on there. That drops like once a month, once a month. And then, suddenly it got huge. It got ridiculous. It got big. If there were a time to be nervous about Ecomi and Veve, it would be 2018 to 2020, when there was no app, where there was no revenue, there was no nothing. There was just Dave and Dan hanging out in Telegram saying we want to do this, we want to do this. Were there concerns in like 2022 when the world was on fire? I mean, we had just barely finished migration to Immutable X, and it took a lot longer because the app was a mess, the code was a mess. And okay, the world's on fire, Russia's invading Ukraine, and peace talks were actually on the table the first few months. And it was Russia getting Donetsk, Crimea, a couple of things on that eastern line of Ukraine. And then Zelensky's like, hey Biden, what should we do? And Biden's like, no, we're gonna drag this out forever. And politics came into play. I don't want to get too much into that. But that peace deal is going to be large. That's going to be. We could have had that literally in like May of 2022, and we'll probably get it maybe after Trump gets elected. I don't know. But that's going to be the same outcome. But you had FTX go under. You had Terra Luna, go under. Crypto was on fire. SEC was slamming everyone with a lawsuit. They're like Oprah with a car. You get a lawsuit. You get a lawsuit. Everyone's getting a freaking lawsuit. And if there was a time to worry, when not only OMI was down like 90 something percent, but the collectibles are down. FUD. I mean, FUD was really at an all-time high, like last week, with OMI, because everything was pumping and OMI, wasn't doing anything. But there's no worry now. I mean, for me, there never was, because they were constantly making money. They always had IP out the yin yang for like 5 years out. Guys, if you think they don't have plans already for like 2028, you're either lying to yourself, or you just don't know how David works and how David thinks and how like these types of businesses work. They have plans out for several years out. This is stupid. I know it's up like 8% today, but this is still stupid. Like, it'll be stupid undervalued at 0009. So the whales are not concerned with the thoughts and ideas of people that just have never really made it, never really made any money, never. So, and again, I'm not saying if you have concerns that you're dipping. It's just like the fudders that say BB's dead, Nomi's dead. Again, that's silly. Obviously, if you have some big concerns, and there is a lot more. I was supposed to go over them, but I've already been talking for 35 minutes. So let's get to the comments, because I know y'all got some comments. Okay, we got Prince Toby. How's it going, Prince Toby? I'm gonna go and read the thing that you sent me, but it's gonna be after this, just because I had this go. I was at the gym. I had some other stuff to do. So I'm going to go and ask everyone to smash that like button. The free way to help support the channel. Non-free, well, you know all the non-free ways to support the channel. But let's go here. Prince will be saying, as a former U.S. Army, I am Air Force, good sir. Air Force is better. What branch of the armed forces do you honestly think would be the most popular if it got VV NFTs? Well, there's a couple ways to think about this. One, Marines are pretty dumb, and I don't know if they could figure it out, even though it's the easiest thing ever. Although that's a lie. My friend Tony's a Marine, and he's got a couple of VV NFTs. He's got some OMI. I don't know. Marines would try to figure out how to eat it. Army, I would say they'd be like too cool for it. Be like, I don't need the little digital stuff. I'm Army, rah. It would likely be with Air Force and Navy, because they're the ones that are just more high tech. They're the ones that are Coast Guard as well. I know people get like, like, oh, it's the Coast Guard. Like, dude, I've never been on one of their things, but dude, they catch like pirates. They go and they catch like people trying to smuggle drugs in the country. Dude, they kill people. Like, it's awesome. Uh, so but I would say Air Force and Navy are probably the two that would be, they would get it and have fun. I could see the Marines going and be like, ours are going to be better, and they will dump their entire paycheck. Like, let's say they just have like, I don't know what's a good thing. So let's say Air Force, you have like a C-17, like or C-5, have these giant cargo planes, and then you have like a Navy, I don't know, USS Gerald Ford. That'd be really cool. And the Marines have whatever the Marines have, like shitty Humvees. I don't know. That's my friend Meg. That she's barking at the dog. She does this thing where she barks at the dog to like confuse it. Anyway, I whatever the Marines get, a chopper, whatever. I feel like the Marines would go and they would spend all of their paycheck to like make that price rise. Like, oh, we're better than Air Force. Um, I just could, I could see that happening. Out of the four, I guess five that I mentioned, you do have other cutoffs. You have like the people that go and they get plucked from these branches, and they go to CIA, or they go to certain type of, well, there are certain types of teams that you're not a PJ, you're not a Green Beret, you're not a SEAL. Like, these are specialized teams that are not really anything for the years that they're in. I don't. One, those are fairly secret, and they probably wouldn't get a drop on VV. And two, they're always in different parts of the world for months at a time without internet. So that wouldn't really be any difference. But I would say Air Force and Navy. Omar says, "Hi fam, what's up, Omar?" Total Lance says, "Omi to the moon." Don Gwynn says, "Omi, yeah, yeah, of course, of course." Goes, these Omi updates. All I gotta say is save a spot for me on the yacht, Randy. So be advised, guys. I'll party. I'll have a couple parties. I'll, hook up some things with Sanjay, and we'll have our fun. even if I go and I do some arbitrage in 2026 and I sell it at the peak in 2025 and I buy back in 2027 and 2029 we're at like $1.50 whatever, and let's say at that point I have 100, after arbitrage, and let's say I have like 200 million OMI and it's $1.50 and I have 300 million, like 90% of what I make is not going to go to me. That is going to go to the that is going to go to the animal charities that I go and set up and I work with. I'll only have 10% of that. So I mean, it's partly why I'm single, and also partly why I likely won't get a boat. I can barely swim. I can like doggy paddle on my way to shore. That's why I did not make it to Battlefield Airman. Um, I'll have super cool parties. I really don't think I'll get a yacht though. I don't think, unless I could like live on that and like rent out the rest of the rooms, I likely wouldn't get a yacht. But we will have some fun parties. It says I sold all my OMI. Psych! I want another 5 million. Get that bread. I love this game. Charlie D said sup. Just hit level 75 today with over 2 million MCP points and wallet number 74 of the top 100. Hopefully, I can do some great stuff with that in the future. You 100% will. I know some people do some like MCP farming. They buy rare comics, they buy cheap stuff, whatever, and that's great. But be advised that the people have not yet begun to stack, because it's fun now to be in the top 500. It's fun now to get cool MCP points. People will go and spend those MCP points very, very quickly, like hilariously quickly, because we're going to have a lot of reasons to go and use those. I need more MCP points. How do you get them? Well, maybe you could be able to send OMI to get more bronze tickets and convert those to MCP points. Might be able to do that. Or what's a way to do that that's not boring? Well, you could double dip. You can go and buy comics. You can go and buy, cheap sets. You get more MCP points that way, and then you have the cheap sets that you can go and sell at some point. So there's going to be multiple ways to do that. There's more than one way to reach the goal. Sorry, that's a Vegeta quote. Croner saying fire, straight fire. Bill Gardner saying, what up, fam? How's it going, Bill Gardner? I heart you. Why is it so bright? We gotta lighten this bright. All right. Sleeping Comic says, Randy, let's go, Sleeping. I'm good and feeling all right. Jordan Reed says, yo, Randy, what up, Jordan? What's up, bro, Seth? How's it going? Well, I was going to say, Phantom Menace has all life's insights and answers. I believe it does. I believe it does. They have. I feel like I also quote that a lot. Yeah. Let me go and do something here real quick. This is a StreamYard, so I might be able to go and get some more people on here. If anyone wants to come on, I've had a. Bean Tech says, "Hey, what up, dude? What up, dude? Girl." Jinferno says, "Howdy. What's up, Jinferno? Been a while." Tortoland says, "I know this is OMI related, but can you ask Jordan Reeves if Paul Hogan's portrait is really on the Aussie dollar bills?" Jordan, if you're still here, is Paul Hogan's portrait really on the Aussie dollar bills? Let me know. Crazy Dan says, the future looks bright to me. I believe it does. Rafael Garcia, Eddie Guerrero, yo. Deadline says 1st of February, I'm buying my first OMI. All right, get that bread. I feel so. Here's the other side of things. I had a couple of people. One was a whale that would not buy any VV collectibles until they had cash out. I was like, you realize, it's probably not, you could. And he's like, yeah, I know, but I just want to make sure they have cash out. Like, okay. In that same breath, you're going to have other people that are. Sanjay has like 10 million OMI, and that's it. Sanjay put like $1 million into this app, and he has like 10 million OMI. Why? He wants to make sure that they have stuff set up first. Cool. I think even Dr. Rolex doesn't have that much. I have to. Oh God, I have to message him. I keep forgetting to message him. Let me go and shoot him a message right now, because he's a cool dude. No. Is it Dr. Rolex? It's Mr. Rolex. I think it's Mr. Rolex. I know I have it in my messages, but it's so okay. There it is, Mr. Rolex's. Mr. Doctor. Sorry, I keep forgetting. Let's set up a date for you to buy OMI. It's just doing Coinbase Wallet. It doesn't have to be. I feel like I don't need to help with that, but yeah, there's other people that that aren't going to buy OMI or haven't bought it, now they might be starting to go say, okay, now they're starting to get somewhere. Now I'll buy it. So, we people be so you have two separate groups of people. You have people that are waiting for that utility for people to go and say, okay, now they're getting somewhere. Now, they're cooking with gas. I'll buy it. And then you have people that'll say like, oh, now it's up to 0009. Now it's up to 001. We lost a zero. All right, cool. I'm gonna get in now. And they'll buy it 002, 004 because it's good, and they'll chase those green candles because that's what people do. Hum Dog is what up, cuz? What up, Hum Dog? Hum Dog is he's like family almost. I'll let y'all know why at some point. Marco Udizar saying, seems every game changer, new partnerships, MCP, OMI to NFT, only creates a momentary hype just to drop a couple of months later. Need more active and repetitive users, app games, etc. Yeah, that's fair. We like doubled, from like July through like late August. Partly because we went from like 0006 to like 0007 just randomly, and then they had the OMI Utility Season 0 pop out, and time to 0012. We lost that zero, which was great. And then like a month later, just slowly 009, 008, 7, 6, 5. But yeah, same. I understand and I agree, and they do need demand for the token. JKRB says new exchanges plus OMI to NFT. Yes, yes, exchanges. I mean, so exchanges by itself really won't do anything. You need that demand for the token. So most likely these are probably they're gonna try to get these out, I would say, by like March or April. Because again, you don't want to launch exchanges in May with no demand and no utility. You really want to have that at or around the same time. So I would say, yeah, MCP drops, and bronze tickets, in April, and then in May get those exchanges, or at least one. Energy, what's up? Jordan says Tour de Lance. I don't think so. Oh, damn. Mo Collection says, yo, what up, Mo Collections? Mo says, thank God no crypto pay-in. I want VV first appearances by OMI. Yeah, yeah. You want VV first appearances by OMI. That's a really good way of looking at it. And I hope that other people see that as well. I didn't at first, but oh, I don't need that. Okay. But he says, hello, all 103, 105 now listeners. First of all, I hope you're having a phenomenal morning, afternoon, evening. Second, we need you in the cat. You love Randy, which means you're doing awesome. Oh, I thank you, buddy. Yeah, the cat's really great. Again, outperforming OMI. Wild. I know we had a good day. So, I mean, if you're up 56%, in one, you're having a better day than most. I would say if we're talking about, and be advised, guys, as we're here, 100 plus of us, Europe is not here. Like they're already people, like a lot of bigger whales and a lot of people that are super into the community and the company. They're already in France having a party. They are having a party right now. I've seen pictures. It's great. Sody Pop, what's your next plan after VV? Well, depending on what the market is, like there's a very good chance that let's say VV goes to. You had modern investors say people are going to lose their minds when OMI reaches 30 cents. I think the modern investor who has hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, like 30,000 on X, maybe like 28,000, but he's very, very intelligent. What does he do? What does he go and what did he say? Why are you bringing him up? Well, he said that again, people are going to lose their mind when OMI reaches 30 cents. Now, we didn't give a timeline on that, but he did a video like last year saying OMI to like 10 cents. And I guess he's changed that to 30 cents now. Because I think he knows a little bit more now what's kind of happening, and what's around the corner and how stupid undervalued this is. So let's say, and I'm not saying we get to 30 cents. That is in my golden goose scenario, 30 to 50 cents. But let's say we get to like 20. Let's say we get up to a $60 billion market cap. And this is with next to no burns. And if we do that, okay, well, what are the consequences of that happening? Okay, well, I'll have $30 million, which would be great. but I'll most likely go and sell a lot at that point. I'll probably only walk away with like 15 or 20 mil, maybe even less. Um, at that time, when the bear market comes in like 2026, 27, if OMI gets down to like, I don't think we drop another 95% down to like a penny again, but let's say it gets down to like 5 cents. We drop 70, we do a 75% drop, and it goes down to 5 cents. Okay, and then I think OMI can go up to $1 in like 2029 or 30. Okay, that's great. That's a 20x. But at that time in 2026, there's likely going to be something or a couple of things that are going to be able to do more than that 20x. Now, if those are things, and I'm never going to go all in on one thing ever again. Now it's like, okay, well, Chavez, like, you took like 500,000, give or take, maybe a little bit more, into OMI. Does that mean you'll never put in 500,000? Well, no. Like when I have like $30 million, $20 million, whatever, I'll easily put a million here, 2 million there, whatever. But I'll just never go all in on one thing again. Like I wouldn't take that same 20 million and put it all in on OMI at 5 cents, although very, very safe. I would probably put several million in, but I do think there would be other things that would outperform it. And I'm not saying like stupid crazy moonshots all 1000x, but I'm saying like, well, there's probably going to be something that's going to 100x that I see in 2026 that'll do that by 2029, 2030. And I'll do that and I know things aren't going to be as chaotic because you have a lot of institutional investing. Um, but that's as far as investing wise. But really, the main thing is really going to be the animal charities. It's going to be saving the endangered species, starting in Madagascar, Indonesia. Building, opening a bunch of no-kill shelters in the U.S. Hopefully, all of the shelters in the U.S. are no-kill shelters by 2030. But we'll see. Bill Garner says, "Island life, yeah." Phil Jordan reads, "When OMI moons and I can get down to Australia, all beers will be on me." Love your content. Nice. Meta World Reality says, "What exchange?" We don't know what exchange we'll get. I would say, I mean, I'd like, so I normally I say I like KuCoin, but KuCoin is not New York friendly or US friendly in general. Maybe crypto.com, maybe Kraken. I really don't want these small shitty exchanges. I mean, OKX is actually a really good exchange. It's just, again, not a ton of demand for the token and not really for US users. So again, KuCoin is not really good anymore, just for at least not in New York. I don't know about the rest of the US. Kraken, crypto.com, and then again, you'd really want the Binance, Coinbase maybe at some point in the future, but you would also want people to be able to get it because, like, yes, most of us here like, oh, crypto exchanges, but there's going to be a lot of people coming in that are going to be like, that are going to view Viviverse the same way that kids nowadays view like Minecraft and Roblox, and they'll go and they'll say like, oh, hey mom, can I use your credit card? I need $20 worth of OMI, to get the skin, to get this whatever, and guess what? They're going to get one, and they're not going to know OMI's a crypto. They're just going to use that OMI and they're going to go buy whatever with it, or buy gems. It'll convert to OMI in the background, and they'll use it to buy whatever. So there might actually come a time where more people are buying OMI on the web app than they are on exchanges. Now, when I talk about volume, the volume will still likely be on exchanges, but just more people. You're going to have likely tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people going and like, oh, let me purchase $20 worth of OMI to get this, or whatever. Very, very possible. Crypto says the cat is on fire. Let's freaking go, dude. I love looking at that chart. Let's see what this chart is. Okay. So you look at it on Dex Tools, go terminal. Oh god, I'm dying. I really gotta stop drinking. It is not loading here. I'll talk to you after it loads. Big A says, if all the OMI people are convinced there's 100x, 3000x going to happen with OMI, why would they spend any of it on collectibles? Same reason none of the pay with Bitcoin services succeeded. So here's the reason. Addicts. I am an addict. Why would I spend any money on beer or nice restaurants or going on vacation, or like, why would I get the Unite the 41 logos or the 43 Lukes? Why would I go get anything on the VV app? Because I'm addicted, and it's fun. And are most people in life addicted to stuff? Well, everyone has their vices. Are most people addicts? No, but there are addicts, and me speaking as one of them, I don't speak for all addicts, but um, I can't help myself. I love the Marvel Mighties, and I like. Why do you think I have 200 freaking alligator Lokis? It's not because I'm a mentally well person, it's because I love it and I need him. They need me. Um, these sub 100 Mighties are, well, in general, I like the Mighties. They're cute. They're fun to play with. Is a number 3,487 Lady Deadpool going to be worth $300 in the future? I buy it for 500 right now, and it's going to go up, like 80x. No, most likely. But if I get a sub 100, there's only 59 of those. So suddenly there's not 13,000 people that need to want one to have one for the price to rise. There just needs to be 59 of them, 41 to 99, to have one. And that's very, very easy to do. There's going to be a lot more than 59 fans of Lady Deadpool, especially after Deadpool 3 comes out. Oh my God, I can't wait. But that's what it's going to be. Like, I know for a fact owns at 100x, but why do I buy these VV NFTs? I shouldn't. I should sell all my number 41 logos. I should sell my loot. I'd sell everything for like 50 to 100 grand, and get so much more on me. Why don't I? I like it. I'm proud of it. And again, part of it is status too. It's like, okay, most people, and again, especially if you're older, what would you rather have? Would you rather have 10 million in the bank, or would you rather have like $8 million worth of stuff, really cool stuff that you could show off, and 2 million in the bank? Older people will be like, oh, no, the 10 million bank is great. It's comfortable. It's, you don't have to impress other people. When you're in your like, when you're older, you get to know that, like, I don't care what people think. I'm not going to keep up with the Joneses. I'm not going to buy something that I don't need to impress people that I don't like, for like they're not going to do that. But if you're like 23 years old, 25 years old, and you want to be like the man, and you want to bling out, and you want to ball out, you're going to go and get the Mercedes. You're going to get the Aston Martin. You're going to get Lamborghini, Ferrari. You're going to get these cool that are gas guzzlers that are not going to keep their value, and you're going to get it to look cool because that's how you pick up chicks. You're going to get a house that's too big, that you don't need, that you don't use most of the bedrooms. Why? It's because it looks cool, because you're putting on airs. And is that part of my reasoning? Yeah, maybe a little bit, maybe like 5%. I mean, no one else is going to get those 41 logos. That is one of the best sets on the app. Um, are like the number 41, like all the Spider-Mans, if anyone get those, yeah, that'd be a lot better, most likely. Um, but you have multiple reasons for that. It's because, yeah, you could have 80 million OMI, but like nobody sees that. That's going to be great for you. And yeah, if you play the long game, if you wait, like a year or whatever, that's going to be worth a lot of money. Or you can go and get a bunch of NFTs, like, oh, and show off. I got this. I got that. There are, and this isn't new. It's recent, like the last 10 years, where I've seen people going like, yeah, I sold my PSA 10 first edition Charizard for $30,000. I was like, okay, that's great, but when your rent is $5,000, and you buy a car, it's like, that is gone. That is gone, and you did it for Instagram likes, and it's done. Where now that it's worth a couple $100,000, and it's just, younger people are generally stupid, and especially men, which, especially if you're a man that doesn't get girls, that doesn't, you don't have girls at the ready, in your circle. How do you go and get them interested? Have stuff that's shown off. Have stuff that's shown off that shows, hey, I'm better than this person, very, very subtly, because girls pick up on that, and that's, when I was in my 20s, when I was young and hot. Yeah, girls. Is it a lot easier to get girls now? It should not be, because I'm old and fat, but it's a lot easier for me to get girls now than it was, 10 years ago when I was in the military and young and hot. I swear to God that is true. Swear to God that is true. And that's the way a lot of young men think, because, wow, that's what's your goal in life? The goal of every species is to survive and then reproduce. How do you go and do that? Well, you have that Pareto distribution where 20% of the men get 80% of the women. How do you become a top 20% man? Make a lot of money, and you got to show off. That's just what happens. Now me again, I don't really care because clearly I'm not showing off in this little small room with Dashie in the corner. Um, but it's just I'm just telling you that's why people go and spend it on collectibles as opposed to OMI addiction, and then you have the not only just addiction, but you have the people that want to show off, and then people that maybe just don't know any better. There's going to be people that just don't believe that high of OMI. They don't have it in such high esteem, but they have the collectibles in that high esteem. Daryl Brandenburg says, "The cat to the moon." Of course, the cat to the moon. What's up, Smart Vance? How's it going? Saying the cat is on fire. All right, yeah, let's see what that's at. The cat is up 62% to a $1.61 million market cap. It just keeps going up. It never goes down. The last 2 days. An average cat is a freaking go-to cat. Nervous, thank you, sir. There's not sure on OMI gains. Impossible to calculate. Somewhere between 10 and 100x. Ooh. Jordan says 1,000x not like. No, I agree. 1,000x is not like what we're gonna get to 60 cents. Probably not. But people are laughing at that 30 to 50 cent range, saying like you're delusional. And again, listen, I don't think we get to 30 to 50 cents. I really don't. I don't think we should. That should not happen. But what are the percentage wise? What are the odds of that happening? 3%. Again, roll that dice, play those dominoes out. Like, yeah, most likely, we hit the 5 to 8, 8 to 10%, 8 to 10 cent range. If things happen really well and Vivi's really cooking, yeah, maybe get 15, maybe get 20 cents. But again, just because where things should go, that doesn't always happen. A lot of times you break through that glass ceiling. We should never have been down here. There's a bunch of things that never happen, that shouldn't happen, that do, and that same thing is going to happen in the other direction. And will it happen for every single crypto? No. Will it happen for some? Yes. Will it happen for OMI? Like we don't know. Again, it should not get to 30 to 50 cents. Definitely not 60, but again, it could. But hey, saying Randy, I know you're trying not to read the comments right now, but you can't hide from the cat. Never hide from the cat. Now it says, hey bro, the cat for the win. Paul DiMatteo. Hey legend, how good is the cat at the moment? It's doing really good. It's up 60% on the day, 62.96%. Yeah, there's a lot of green candles. Look at the buy orders on these. And again, it's not like, okay, well, there's $1,000 order, but a lot of these are just small everyday people, $100, 221, 226, 181, all right, 997, 801. Oh yeah, you have people that are buying for, okay, this is $4,000. So you do have people that are buying, thousands, but most of these is just a couple $100. And it's just, people getting hyped. It was trending yesterday. It's a renounced contract. We like grew like 100 in the amount of holders. At Jordan, Randy has repeatedly said easy 100x, in my opinion, in the future. And I've heard many claims of $10 OMI. So even though Cavell was the first person to say $10 OMI, I did the math, and yeah, at like, in like 10, 15 years, that is possible. I did the math. 10 to 15 years, $10 OMI is possible. I never said it was possible. What I said, if people are convinced. All right, fair point, fair point. So figuring we burn 100 something like 150 billion OMI, and we only, let's say we have 150 billion left by 2035, 2039, in that range. Okay, well, what's a dollar? Well, that's only $150 billion market. It will definitely be higher than that. Okay, what's $5? Okay, that'd be 750 billion, and that's fair. $5 is fair. I think in 10, 15 years that's easily done. Well within the realm of possibility. But $10 OMI, Chavez, that's over $1 trillion market cap. You're right, it is. But don't you think most cryptos in the top 20 will have that? I think so. I definitely think so. We're talking several bull cycles from now. We're talking, yeah, this is, yeah, I would say $10 is definitely within reason. Again, we're talking 15 years away. What was life like in 2009, 15 years ago? Okay, well, people had camera phones. Were people streaming on their phones? No. You had apps, there were smartphones, but '09, it was a very different world. It was a very different place. Um, Facebook was still fairly new. Like I think they had just let people that were not in college use Facebook at that time. Facebook wasn't for old people. It was, a lot of younger people, people that had college emails, and then originally, then it came to like, okay, people that, it was younger people, and now it's for old people. That like nobody uses, no younger, nobody under the age of like 30 uses Facebook. Um, but on Instagram and TikTok, and I guess Snapchat. So, 15 years from now, again, if the technology doubles like every 18 months, you have David Wright's law. What is going to happen in 15? Like Chat GPT came out of nowhere at like the 3.0. Like it's going to go. You guys don't even know. The world could be a very, very different place in just 10 years from now. And a $10 only should, as long as AI doesn't take over and kill us, it's going to be a very, very different place. Acer Move says, Jordan Reed, it's time for you to sell your at the year's list. 2024 OMI price. Let's go. But by the end of the year, I would say we get to a penny, maybe 1.2 cents, like all time highs. Dr. Stuff says at least that, maybe 3 cents. Crypto Rain's like, no, 3 to 5 cents. He said Crypto Rain is what, and again, I'm the most bearish between me, Dr. Stuff, and Crypto Rain. And he'd be like, okay, well, Chavez, you're kind of a moon boy, and you're delusional. So of course I'm not going to believe you. But Dr. Stuff's been in finance for a lot longer than you have, Randy. Even though you were successful, in high risk lending and Tesla and Pokemon cards, and yeah, you found undervalued stuff. But you know what? Everyone's wrong once in a while, Chavez, and you're probably wrong now. I think the pennies, like 1.2 cents is very delusional. There's gonna be a lot of sell-offs. Okay, what about Dr. Stuff that's been in crypto longer? And Dr. Stuff's been in finance longer, and he knows a lot of these regulations because he works in this market, and he's older, smarter, more experienced. What about him? When he says it's at least going to get to what I'd said. Okay, even if you discount him for whatever reason, how do you discount Crypto Rain that's already a multimillionaire? How do you discount Crypto Rain that is older, smarter, and more experienced than the intelligence for him and Dr. Stuff probably neck and neck. But older, smarter, more experienced than me in the crypto space. Are all three of us wrong? Are three successful, financially literate people all wrong in this particular space at this particular company? If I'm an outsider looking in, okay, what scientists say follow the water when looking for life. Journalists, financial analysts say follow the money. You follow the money. Where are rich, successful people putting their money? And are you really going to bet against them? So, you know, I'm I'll say crypto is obviously the optimist, and I'm not going to say I'm pessimist, saying we get to 1 cent, 1.2 cents by the end of the year. But I am in this scenario, and Dr. Stuff saying in the middle between 1.3, 1.2, and then 3 cents. I'll stick to 1.2 cents, but you have two people that are older, smarter, more experienced that are saying a lot higher, like 3 to 5 cents. So I'll just say, bruh, I'm a Marine, bruh. Air Force is better. So one of my favorite like guilty pleasures to do is like scroll on TikTok and then find like people that are live, like in their army uniform and their Air Force uniform, and for me to type in Air Force is better, and for them to just be like, oh, and then they'll be like, oh, Chair Force, and I'll be like, you wish. Um, my friend Ty actually, he's been on the podcast. He graduated. He's finally a soldier. He graduated Army boot camp today. So shout out to him. And obviously, as you know, and in case other people don't know, there's a lot of interbranch teasing with one another. So we like to tease one another. Oh, Exotic says, "Are you going to be on the NFT Spirit stream?" I hope so. Whenever that is, I love him. But he's saying, "Lol." Mowgli says, "Owe me to the moon." And Average Cat says, "Go Air Force! I'm a National Guardsman. Air Force for the win." GB Tree says, at Jordan Rees, 100x easier with Epico than Omi. The possible is Epico going to reach $100 million market cap at the peak? Anything's possible. Anything's possible. You for Epico, you could have two different things going. The bear view being like, okay, guys, literally nobody's talking about the token. Nobody plays their game. It's a cheap Clash of Clans or Clash Royale knockoff. Gonna go to zero. But then you could have the super bullish Epico version to be like, listen, they're attacking that Indian market. Just because they're not doing well right now doesn't mean that they won't do well in the future. That recency bias can work against you, and that people that go in doing this stuff in the future, they have some really good lore. They have some really cool characters. Power World isn't Pokemon. Pokemon's the OG, but Power World's lighting the world on fire right now. Why can't Epico do the same? And Epico could go. It could rip to a $50 million market cap. I don't know. Did I put any money into it? No. Will I in the future? If it stays at this level and other things go up, maybe. I don't know. An average cat thing. CV22 Ospreys is what the Marines have. That and the F-18 Hornets. Ah, yes, they do. I'm sure I've loaded some. Mogul says Marvel signed a 10-year contract with you a couple years ago. Was it a 10-year? I guess it was. I guess it was. I forgot about Trump's event, the Space Force. Ah, Space Force. One of the bases in Colorado that was an Air Force base is actually a Space Force base now. So that's really cool. Forgot about that. Space ISIS. Though their NFTs would be pretty lame. Well, maybe. Yeah. Mirestone Ranch says, howdy from the ranch. What up, Mirestone? Meow. Humdog says, hey, bro. What's going on, fam? Good. Humdog's a cool dude. He's a cool dude. We haven't met in real life yet, but excuse me, we will. We will. Milestone, you're so cool. It says, hey Randy from New Zealand, bought 10 million more OMI this week. If you know, you know. And moves says, as a businessman, you can burn your asset without any reason, similar to OMI. That would be nice. Burn something for more OMI? I would do it. Theo says, I don't think we will get new exchanges, but instead we will get a new way to purchase OMI on the web app. Why not both? David Shaw says, Randy, they confirmed this 3 years ago. What did they confirm 3 years ago? I'm actually only like 18 minutes behind on comments right now. Sambukow says, if only 10x's, but the price of drops remain the same, that's why. Wait, what's why? I feel like I'm way behind on comments. I'm not getting what people are talking about. Sambukow says, they may have brought this up a long time ago, but halving is near, and now is the right time. Not 3 years ago. Yeah, it's a good point. It's a very, very good point. Mokolite says, wow, the sculpting video of the Juggernaut statue for this upcoming drop, the process is insane. I want to support the Veve now because of the work it takes. Wow. Go watch that. The Veve YouTube has, ever since Old Rhubarb took over, it's gone, the videos are amazing. I love it. Sleeping says, you're not old and fat. I'm old and fat. We can be old and fat together, Sleeping. You take me on a run, I'll last for a mile and a half, and then I'm done. I'm done. You can run circles around me. JP Trees, the stamp houses, OMI's 10x drops will sell out, and new people will spend 2K on a common Mermacore. I remember when people were spending $2,400 on the Batman and Lizard statue, whatever that was called. People were spending so much money on little Danny the Bull's 0%. What's up, Danny the Bull? How's it going? So guys, I just had a small amount of money sitting on Veve, and I just drained it. Can't help it. I have the addiction, pun intended. Oh, you bought the addiction comment. Very nice. Yeah, same here. Same here. I got the addiction too. JP Trees says 10x is a $1.6 billion market cap, like 21, but there's more in circulating supply, so it won't go to 0.013 again. No, 10x brings us to 0006. So you need more, plus it's going to take a while if we get OMI burns, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, obviously with OMI burns, it would take a higher price to reach that market cap, which is fine by me. I mean, if we burn 200, let's say if we only have a 100 billion OMI in like 10, 15 years, then you only need $1 trillion market cap for OMI to be $10. So that's fine. That's fine. JBG says 1 millisecond is 12 days. 1 million seconds is 12 days. 1 billion seconds is 31 years. And that's how much money you need in comparison to circulating supply. Well, yes and no. I mean, the math is correct if you do it that way. But if $1 million goes into the token, does the market cap go from 168 $1 million market cap to 169 million. No, it depends what people sell it at. You're not going to just have a million sell orders at this price. There's only so many people that are going to sell it at this price, and then this price, and this price, and this price. So $1 million doesn't change it to $1 million higher. $1 million going into it could very well change it several $1 million. So, and the same thing works with a billion. It could raise it several billion. Brett Pan says we are trending on CoinMarketCap all day. That's why the cat is still going hot, number 6 right now. All right, let's take a look see at the cat again. Where we at? Market info. We are at 63% up, $1.62 million. It just keeps going up, man. That is amazing, crazy. Have I told you lately? Oh, sorry. Bogar says who's Atric moves to celebrate when OMI hit 1 cent. It is too early to celebrate. I mean, I'm not celebrating the price movement, although it's nice to see it not go down for change. I'm celebrating the fact that Ecomi and Veve are really talking about it, and that sentiment slowly seems to be changing a little bit. Slow but steady. JB trees, and I likely won't sell until like I likely won't sell any meaningful amount of OMI until I'm a multi-millionaire. So I would need like 1.1, 1.2 cents, give or take. David Tree says, Ace rig move. That's if the whale's allowed to go that high. Liquidity is an issue for exchanges. All right, the peak of the market, that's why there's 30+% corrections along the way up. It can be. Even selling this low, your orders don't always get filled. It's very true. Very true. Ezmove says, I'm accumulating OMI every month. A small bag. I'm a long-term player. Love the project and founder, David Yu. Get that bread. Carlos Castrone says, have you heard of Byte? I have not. I'm not sure what it is. There's a lot of things popping up all the time. Could be cool. Macus Antipas says, can't believe some people still believe in this OMI. It's okay to admit and move on, man. Clearly you haven't heard the good news. I mean, it's again, most of this news we've kind of known for a while, but it's just nice to hear them confirm it. But if you haven't taken a look, you really should. Carlos Castrone says Grok's digital dog bite. Oh, okay. That meme coins can go crazy. Meme coins can go absolutely nuts. So could go up. Most meme coins are pretty worthless, but who knows? Kobe Skywalker says, can't believe some people still seriously. Obviously the person with a pig for a thing, not really gonna take him seriously. Bulgar says, I believe in OMI. We all believe in OMI. Cool Mo says, Randy, big day for Veve and OMI. It is. Let's check the price. I haven't checked in a while. I think we did reach a high of 0.0064 on the day, and we're down to 0.0062 now. So only up 4% on the day, but it's still a nice. Oh, well, Kobe Skywalker saying, same here, Bill. Managed another 5 million the past couple months. Good job. Bill Gardner says, great job. Oh, well, thank you. I think you were really talking to Kobe Skywalker, but I'll take the thank you as well. Carl says, big corporations funding crypto so they can stack Bitcoin. ETF is already out and soon. Yeah, Ethereum ETF won't be until May though. So that's just going to be a while. I could still do some of the news here because there's still 108 people here, so I'll do some of the news when we're done. Kobe Skywalker says, pound it. Mike Gazillion says, Randy, a long time no see. What's your objective view on Ecomi's progress, given what you projected 18 to 24 months ago hasn't really pushed forward? So I don't 100% remember what I said 18 to 24 months ago. Although if you wind the clocks back 24 months ago, I was still a millionaire. So that's fun. Yeah, so I had this vision. We wind the clocks back to January of 2022. Things are pumping. I'm a millionaire. Life is good. Life is sweet. Grab yourself a front row seat. Sorry. I was thinking that we get an exchange or two. I was thinking we get a little bit more, utility for it. And they just, when Russia invaded Ukraine, just, but at this time, I don't think we were 100% moved over to Immutable X. That took several months longer. But this time, it's not like you have the bear market in front of us with the world falling apart. Especially 18 months ago, we were well into that. Everything was on its way down. Now you have this kind of bull market that's ahead that, when the clock's forward a couple of years, historians and people could be like, oh, well, we had entered the bull market at this point. Like we're already in the bull market now, even if it's just the early beginnings of it. Um, it seems to be nothing but good news for the next several months. You had Bill Ackerman, or not Ackerman, Bill Ackman, who's um, he's worth about $4 billion. He's a hedge fund manager. He's got some friends at the Fed, and then said, well, we were supposed to get a rate hike in Q1 of 2024, but now it looks like we're getting a rate cut. And that rate cut is going to take about $1 trillion out of the 5.7 trillion in the money markets. It's going to rip into the market, and you're going to see an insane amount of growth. And that's just in one part of the sector. Again, you have the Bitcoin ETFs that were approved, the Ethereum ones that will be approved as well. And then you have Biden that's going to go and do some type of quantitative easing, some type of whatever, to go and say, hey, you know what we could do? We could lower these interest rates. We could print this money. And he's going to run on the markets. He's going to try to beat Donald Trump by saying the economy is doing really good. He's going to let a lot of people drill a lot of oil because it's going to have it's going to be like gas prices are down, and he's going to get lost. But he's going to go do that, and you're going to have this trifecta, this perfect storm of a lot of things happening in conjunction with the NFT narrative went away like for almost 2 years now, well, a year and a half. People are saying like, oh, NFTs are dead, they're never coming back, it had its time. And that's even with some of the people that were in the community, not including the people that were that's kind of heard what NFTs were and like, oh, it's a scam. Like I distinctly remember these two people that used to work for CNN, and they'd talk crap about NFTs like, oh, NFTs. If you couldn't tell, it wasn't a scam by the fact that they had NFTs. And then they had gone and rolled out their own NFT project, and CNN literally rug pulled the community. Jesus, tap dancing Christ. NFTs took the really bad hit, and now again, very, very, very slowly, people are starting to recognize, okay, blockchain technology has a lot of uses, and yes, there's a lot of people that make NFTs of ducks and bears and cans and whatever, and most of them are useless. Just like most people that have a podcast, most of them are not very good. Most people that draw comics, that draw whatever, like most people, nobody knows anything about, and a lot of like NFT NFT projects are like Saturday Night Live skits. Most of them are trash, and some of them are okay. But every now and then, there's this one. There's this one that's just super special, and everybody loves, and you're lucky to be a part of it. And that's what Veve and Ecomi is. So my objective towards the Ecomi's progress has been Veve and Ecomi's progress has been fairly abysmal the last few years. But again, as long as they had revenue coming in, which they have, as long as they survived, which they didn't just survive, they've thrived. They've like doubled their workforce. And as long as they still have the community, one of the best, which they do, there's no reason why I should think anything bad. There's nothing that leads me to believe that this is going to go down, or this project is in need of worry. They're flush with cash. That their CEO is not just insanely good, probably the best at what he does, but he's just having fun. Like David is having a blast. Again, I know him on this personal level. It's not just like, gotta go to another meeting with these people that I don't like, that I don't want to have a meeting with. And what's the point? People buy it, make money, you go to another meeting. No, no, David's going like, I get to go meet these guys. He's the creator of this person and this. Like, David is a kid in a freaking candy shop having the time of his life. There is nobody better for the getting IP, and that I would rather put my money into in this business. Would I trust David, trying to collect money for some debts that's owed? No. But do I trust him to talk to these multi-billion-dollar companies and CEOs because he knows the world of collecting better than almost anyone on the planet? Yes, 100%. So again, my views on Ecomi have really only grown, with each passing day. Stephen Curley says, "Boom shakalaka, Randy. I'm still here. Woot, 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 woot. Love your stash." I feel like Kesha at the end of her song is like, "I like your beard." Bogar says, "Oh, great, Michael's back." Michael Gazalian says, "Remember that we have timestamps of everything you've said or predicted. I'm curious to know someone's psychology in the present day, given what the lack of virtually anything. So if you want to go back and well, I mean, I guess it wouldn't take that long. You don't have to watch all of the videos, but if you want to go from like 2 years ago to 18 months ago, I was in a different apartment. I was in a different. I still always had Dashi, of course. Had a girlfriend, um, and that was nice. But the mindset for the company again, the thesis of the company hasn't changed, so my mindset hasn't changed. But if you go and you say, okay, well, you're a lot poorer. You lost like $1 million. Okay, fair point. Did my lifestyle change? No. I mean, I'm still. I at least have a bed now. I didn't have a bed. It's really a box spring and a mattress, but I'll call it a bed. Um, there I have I have more friends, even though my personal circle's gotten smaller. Grown a lot of followers on X, subscribers on YouTube. The me and the Wales partnerships have gotten a lot deeper, so that's really fun. Um, Things happen that did I have to come out of retirement and start working again? Yes. Um, I probably should have never retired. Probably should have kept on buying, kept on working and buying. But it was fun to say retired at 30. Um, and I'll be retired again this time next year, maybe even 6 months from now. Who knows? Arjun Garg says, "What's the difference between OMI to NFT and crypto paying? You just have to convert your crypto to OMI." So yeah, it's pretty much the same thing. I did go over that earlier in the video in like the first 20, 30 minutes. But you're right. It's just same. It's just an extra step. I'm saying they have to buy OMI first, which is a use case. Yes, that's if you look at the positives, yes, you go in and you have a lot of buy pressure for OMI, which is good. But yeah, it says I actually used crypto pay in before, and it was just sending your ETH, Big Miss not having it. Randy's one of the few that know how much I have. He's big as a whale. OMI pay-in requires multiple steps and fees because of layer 2. So I do agree with that, but if you go and you have a way where you can buy OMI with credit card, that's going to be a lot easier. That is going to be a lot easier. I don't think there's going to be a super easy way to bridge layer 1 to layer 2. I mean, there might be. I don't think there is, but there might be. Who knows? Synchro says, we're going to overdose on gluten. We should get all this. You're right. You're right. Let's drink some water here because I've just had 2 beers. I'm going to have 3 tomorrow, though. Greg McClure says, good morning from Qatar. Hello. Greg, why do people call it Qatar? I always called it Qatar. I never really called it Qatar, but some people do. Oh, wow. I have a lot of messages to get back to. But I'm focused on you guys. 105 people here. Let's go over some of the news after we go big. It says, OMI buy with credit card would be amazingly bullish for OMI. 100% agree. Yeah, so 8% of Bitcoin is held by the likes of MicroStrategy, Tesla, SpaceX, Coinbase, Block Inc., Marathon, Hut 8, Riot, China, the USA, Ukraine, Bhutan, Indonesia, El Salvador, and now all 11 US ETFs. So there are 15 companies that own 8% of Bitcoin. Okay, Chavez, what's your point? Well, there's a couple points I have, but it took 4 years for MicroStrategy to buy 189,150 Bitcoin. Let me repeat that. It took 4 years for MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, to buy 189,150 Bitcoin. It took about 20 days for BlackRock and Fidelity to buy a combined 82,154 Bitcoin with their spot Bitcoin ETFs. That's almost half of what MicroStrategy had bought, and they did it in a fraction of the time. So you have, hold on, yeah, okay. So there's not a ton of Bitcoin that's left for people to go and buy, and when you have the demand for it and you can't get it from the open market because people are going and they're saying, you just don't have it. What's going to happen? You create that squeeze, and you're going to have a really big. You're just going to have a really big. What's that called? A big pump, a big green candle. And I know people are saying like, "Oh, it's a god candle day for OMI." Guys, this is not a god candle. We had a couple of nice big green candles. That's super fun, always exciting. God candles are like when OMI like triples in a day, and that can happen. Congrats to King Mavs that reached level 100. Even David Yu saying congrats to the big 100. So Binance had gone on and posted the other day, what's the most underrated project in crypto? And it wasn't me. It wasn't any of like the public VV fanboys or moon boys. But you had the modern investor saying, well, people on here promote meme coins and projects that have no partnerships. One coin in particular has partnerships tied to Disney, Marvel, Disney, Coca-Cola, Lamborghini, Star Wars, and gets no recognition at all at Ecomi. Again, that is the modern investor going and saying that. And again, he had said earlier today, people are going to lose their minds when OMI reaches 30 cents. Does that happen in the next, 18 months? Maybe. I don't, it's going to be hard. I don't think so, but it's possible. It is possible. I don't know how many. Harry Potter had their first NFT drop on Wax. If I'm not mistaken, like 85% of them did not sell and they were immediately burned. Consider that a failure. And likely Harry Potter will come on BV at some point. Just because, again, anything that releases on Wax, which I have my first official NFTs on Wax, they bear the Earth 2 logo. So they are official Earth 2 NFTs, but they are, yeah, that's going to be Wax is straight up not good. Nobody uses that. Everyone hates it. Not a good time. But I do think we get Harry Potter at some point. No, where was I? Oh, okay, yeah. A lot of FUD for OMI the other day. So I had to go and I had to tell people. Out of the 300 billion OMI that was set aside for the team and business development fund, 138 billion ended up out of circulation forever. How? Well, 98 billion were frozen in contracts, and 40 billion were used to precede the vault, which took them out of circulation. And it's convenient for fudders and liars to overlook that when they clearly have an agenda. In 4 years, the team has only used 23.8 billion for exchange liquidity, vendors, and other business expenses. I like those numbers, and I can't wait to use my OMI to buy on the BV app. And then I have a couple of those, and then I say, cool, need transparency. Okay. Highlighted in red. Shout out to Nesco that has 4 million MCP points that is at level 92. My favorite Randy Chavez fan theory is that I am the secret love child of Xena and Hercules. That is my favorite Randy Chavez theory. Lowman Mick says, quote, you have people that feel like we are on the cusp of something next level. Quote by VV Magic. And then Foster Hilt smirk was like, Foster Hill knows that things are coming. We don't know what yet. I sent that. Okay. Mass layoffs announced at Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated lays off a significant amount of staff after license revoked, owner vows, blah blah blah. Sports Illustrated death by 1,000 cuts. Again, it is not just the Web3 market. It's sports. It's a lot of things in general. They're cut. And again, Sports Illustrated is the magazine. Encyclopedia Britannica has not printed a physical encyclopedia in over a decade. Why? Because the world is going digital. I believe that at some point we go and we have a big shift from comic books, from physical comic books to digital. And at some point there will, I would like to think that there's always going to be some physical comic books that are printed because of the history, but a lot less of them are printed now than were printed 30 years ago. And it's like, well, 30 years ago, Comic-Con was like nothing, right? Yeah, you're right. Comic-Con was literally just for nerds, and it wasn't nearly as big as it was today. Well, why are less comics being read? That does not compute. Well, now you have a lot of girls going in, and you have the booth babes trying to be Jessica Negri. You have some jacked folks that are trying to cosplay, and then you also have the Walking Dead is always there. Like Breaking Bad was that. Like you always had these big stars. Like movies sucked in the 90s. The Jurassic Park was good. There's a couple things that are good, but movies sucked in the 90s, and it really wasn't. Especially like there was no good superhero movies. It wasn't really until like X-Men and Spider-Man came out that was like, oh, this is what can happen, and it was nuts. Um, but I do think that the world is definitely going digital. You're not going to reverse that, and it's a lot easier for companies. Again, like even if you say, okay, you don't like technology, like corporations are going to do what's best for corporations. They don't care really about technology, and they don't really care about what people's feelings are. They care how people spend their money. Why are some of the best first appearances in Marvel Mighties? Because you had Professor X and you had Magneto, two of the most important mutants in the history of X-Men, be a con exclusive first appearance, high end 3D digital statue. And they made like $60,000 between the two of them. The last two sets of Marvel Mighty made well over $100,000, more than double each of what Professor X and Magneto had done by themselves. So that's just the BB. Well, we'll still do 3D statues. We'll make Juggernaut, we'll make whatever, but they're going to continue to give their first appearances to these Marvel Mighties because that's where people spend their money. So when you have these corporations, again, corporations will do what's good for corporations. Why are they going to switch from physical to digital? It's not because they really care what people want, or they care for nostalgia, they care for people's feelings. They're going to do it because it's going to make them a lot more money. It's going to save them a lot on costs, and it's going to make them a lot more money on the back end, especially if they're NFTs. So I really do believe a lot of these comics will be appearing on BV at some point in the future. Where was I? Oh god, there's a lot. 31 Marion says, Phil just posted an Ecomi vid. We are bullish when he comes out of the world. Is it a good Ecomi vid? So I'm curious why OMI to Gem took a backseat to OMI to NFT. Most likely, what they're doing is they're going to say, hey, if you have the OMI to Gem and the Gem liquidity pool, and there's no way to fill it, that Gem liquidity pool is going to constantly be at zero because people are going to be spending. So if they go and they have that Gem liquidity pool there, but not really being able to be used, you really would want OMI to NFT first to really, really fill up that Gem liquidity pool. I think that's why that's happening. But again, that's just my opinion. Lagar saying, what do you mean theory? Definitely from Xena and Hercules. Oh, what? Thank you. Lagar says, I remember thinking Xena's sidekick / girlfriend was so hot. Of course, I was like 12. Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course. Yeah, when we're 12-year-old boys, every woman in the world is hot. It's just the hormones, man. And Moses Cavell did his 100% hit the nail on the head. Curious. Lagar says, who's Cavell? Is a YouTuber. He's joking. Bill's trolling. Did you say in the beginning, if you listen to him, you will make life-changing gains? Guy also sold at the Oh man, Bill Gardner's ripping into him today. Can we tell because Lyle Cavell still got to say? Okay, Bones says he says truth. He's not trapped holding heavy. Okay, Bones says not the bottom for him. Okomi Scholar says funniest Cavell vid was him selling everything right at the bottom and then creating a business that he informed us was immediately profitable. This was within the span of yeah, unfortunately there's some people that continually make like the wrong decisions, but it's it happens. It happens like that. Moving on. Yeah, I know. The Scorn Stepbrother of Professor X happens on 28 January, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Don't you know who I am? I'm the Juggernaut. It's a bad word. I'll probably be going live for the Matt Gondek drop tomorrow because that Matt Gondek drop tomorrow, I get it. Most likely, you're not even going to be selected for it, and if you are selected for it, you have to pay $50, and you're most likely going to get the ultra rare, and the ultra rare is going to probably go for like $38. You're already losing money. But what if you get that secret rare? If you get that secret rare, that's going to be like $2,000 to you because there's only 16 of them. It's one of 20. The first 4 are kept by Vivi, so you only have really 75% of them. You have 16 of them. That I got to go live for that because if I get that, girl, you don't even know. I'll likely sell it. No, well, I might keep it long enough to get the physical, and then maybe I'll sell the physical. This is a flex. This is a huge flex piece. JP Tree says a tool on top to map and digitalize our faces into cartoons so we can mint personalized mighty or pop type characteristics would be cool. I personally would pay 100 gems to mint personalized. Yeah, maybe I would too. Ms. Marlowe is laughing. You can say that after a 10x. A 10x on what? A 10x on what? I need to know who got the 10x. Oh, lordy. Eh. Okay, moving on. Cue the Dumb and Dumber meme. So you're saying there's a chance? It's a good meme. Now, where was I? Oh, unofficial Feesh says, Vivi official, please schedule the Feesh Underworld drop. Yeah, Vivi. Uh, Kyle Ferg says this, when will David Yu open the Feesh's Underworld? I'm very curious about that as well. Come on, David Yu, let's get this bread. He's in France right now, but maybe not soon. Maybe in like a few months. Maybe a few weeks. They might be going to Dubai after this. Didn't hear that from me. Of course, you just did. On address registered, my idea, tweaking, or other things to be healthy. All right, hang on. All right, so here's an idea from OMI 2020 thing. Imagine an idea of a comic drop with 10 random mints that entitled you to a graded CGC physical comic, but nobody knows the mints. But Vivi gave out clues after the drop or before, though, what mints they are. So it's a type of treasure hunt aspect. Gets community active on socials, Discord, Twitter, etc. Trying to find the mint. Also, a lot will guess wrong, buy wrong mints, etc. Or try and sell high. If they have believed they said it'd pay an extra gem or two to cover. Yeah, I think that'd be a good idea, but they didn't have a oh man. Who's now marijuana's he's going hard on the hate. Davey Tree says, have you seen those personalized troll dolls or Tron dolls in Tron Shop? I have not. I hope they're cool. But the reason why we're likely not going to be able to do that is because if you guys remember the red variants that you had for Doc Ock, Dr. Octopus, Dr. Octopus, blah, Dr. Octavius. We were originally supposed to have a drop in which 10 random mints were red variants. Marvel said no. So you're likely gonna not be able to go and do 10 random mints that will get you a if they said no to the randomized red metallic drops for Dr. Octavius, you're likely not going to get the drops for those particular mints for a CGC copy. So he says he sure likes to tell people he is. He does like to tell people he is. Okay, Bo says Vivi has become like a stock. Let's see if it moves like a stock or a token. 10x, then 10x, crypto 3x, 5x stock. Well, we're likely going to go 100x, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's see what we got here. Okay, so there's a new Spider-Man utility. Secret Rare Spider-Man. So there's going to be an early bird drawing on the 31st of January. And the Spider-Man utility, I know there's 97 people here now, but I have to go and put this in a video. 2024 unofficial Secret Rare Spider-Man utility. List your Peter Parker for $420 million for your chance to win a free custom merch official movie poster or random smaller prizes. So you can have end of Q1, you'll get either a t-shirt, end of Q2, you'll get a free double-sided movie poster, end of Q3, you'll get a custom hat, and end of Q4, free custom eye-slide sandals, which is really cool. So there are going to be secret rewards for having this as well. When my listing price changes, you have 24 hours to relist to qualify for a prize. Multiple mints, you have multiple entries. So if you have 2 Secret Rare Spider-Mans, like Dr. Prop will have like 70 entries. Winners have 3 days to claim a prize or forfeit, and then it's re-rolled. Snapshot and drawing held simultaneously at any given time, last day of every quarter. Secret rewards held randomly at my own discretion. Free worldwide shipping. That is really cool. So that's going to be really fun. You have Daredevil Face to Face with Eddie that comes out. Oh, that came out today. I don't even know how that did. Let's see how that did. I feel like it didn't. If I didn't know about it, it's probably not going to be good. Just read that. Let's log on to the VV app and see. Oh, God. Not get here. All right. Collectors at Heart. Gems. All right. So the latest drop was today. which again, I had no idea that this was a drop, so I'm gonna say sold like 1,000 copies. um, oh, it actually sold like 1,500 copies. All right, times seven. So it actually didn't do. It really didn't do that bad. It did about $10,000. I mean, it's still not great, but nice $10,000 for Vivi. Good for them. Okay, I did that. Did that. I talked about CoinGecko. CoinGecko has 161,000 followers over on the Twitter. Oh, I'm sorry, not on the Twitter. Subscribers on YouTube, and they talked about cryptos going mainstream. The top 5 big brands that were on NFTs, and number one was Lamborghini, and that is on Vivi. So they talked about us, which is really cool. I love that. And then you had David saying Juggernaut looks incredible in AR mode, so that's pretty cool. James Brown is there. Matt Patskill, meow meow meow. We had and Mr. MC1 saying we have a very, very, very big surprise soon. I don't know if that was for Viviverse or if that was for Comics Labs or if that was, this OMI article that's coming out, that just came out today. We don't know. It's a Vivi thing. Greg McClure cracked the top 200. Good for Greg McClure. Priority. Oh my God, there's someone I'm not sure there's no one person on this motor, but oh my God. Okay, I would say that should be it. Let me go through a couple more slides and then I'll probably end it here. Shout out to Charles Delgado that says just completed the sets. MCP, here I come. He's got 2 million MCP points, which is great. Grab a snack. Okay, that's going to be it for today. I've gone for an hour 46. Rock and Blockchain says rewrote an entire code base today on 1 hour of sleep. Jesus, it's probably time to crash, but I just named something Greg. So you know what that means. I don't know what that means. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. And I'm just going to have y'all go and just, smash that like button. Like it. All right, I love you guys. Thanks for hanging out for the last couple hours. I will catch you all later. Bye. Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, meow. Okay, end stream. My